Good evening and welcome back to another live stream edition of Maddie's Rap with author and storyteller Matt D. Talford. To those of you that are new, welcome. And to those of you that are back, welcome back. Welcome back. Y'all, I know I've taken a little break here. And you know what? Actually, it doesn't even feel like a break because I was, what's today's date? Today's date is Monday, July 13th. Yeah, I was just live. What was that? Saturday, July the 4th. So it's been a week, a little over a week. But anyway, got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of irons in the fire, but y'all know how it is. So I'm back, y'all. So listen, let's get this party started because I could feel it was a few of y'all out there. What's up, Bernadette? Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for being here. I could feel it was a few of y'all out there that wanted me to go live on this topic. And I was very tempted to go live last night. But one of the things I've learned over the years is when these big news events drop, you need to chill and wait a little bit. Wait at least 12 to 24 hours, because what you find out is they start throwing new wrinkles in the story to throw people off the scent. All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to start some music while we wait for some more people to join. Yeah, I'm ready for it too. I'm ready for it too, Bernadette. This one was exciting. It was a little bit of work getting everything together, but y'all know I like to put on a good show for y'all, and I'm not going to put it on if it ain't good, right? That's a cook's mentality. I'm not going to feed y'all anything I wouldn't eat myself. All right, here we go. Here we go, y'all. Let me get some music started. Thank you all for being here tonight. We're going to start this one off with a little D train, okay? Because we got to lift the vibes up because, you know, in this day and age, and I'm going to be talking about that at this time, not this day and age, at this time, you really want to make sure your vibes are high. I'm seeing some stuff out there, y'all. I'm seeing some stuff and I'm feeling some stuff. So make sure you're vibrating high. If you go low, stay to yourself, stay in the house, maybe stay away from people, stay out of harm's way until you can bring your vibrations back up. Do whatever you do to get them up, okay? Whether you're taking a spiritual bath, you're meditating, you're sleeping, you're eating something refreshing, you're spending some time in nature, whatever you do to get your vibes back up, get them up, all right? Listening to your frequencies, whatever. Do whatever you got to do to get them back up. But let's get some music started while we're waiting for some people to join. Thank you all for being here tonight. And y'all be sure to tap that like button as you're coming in. That helps me to notify people that are subscribed to this channel that I'm live, because y'all already know the vibes with YouTube and channels like these. Okay, I know a few of y'all that watch me also watch Big Judah, and y'all hear him all the time talking about how they be tricking on the numbers, all right? But we can overcome that with you guys' help. So I appreciate all the help you guys can give. Just tapping that like button does a huge, huge amount of help. So thank you. You're helping me and you're helping your fellow person that wants to see videos like these. So thank you so much. All right, let's get this one started, y'all. Y'all come on in. Thank y'all for being here tonight. She said I clicked on notify for this live, but it kept turning off. Say you're joking, Bernadette. Say you were joking with me. Every time I think I've seen it all, y'all hit me off and put me on to something that takes it to another level, another layer. So thank you, Bernadette, for sharing that information, because I had no idea. But I see how they're tricking out there. But you know why they're tricking? And we're going to be talking about that tonight. They're tricking because their time is short. So keep tricking. Keep tricking, right? What the Messiah said. He said, he said they're going to be eating and drinking and giving in marriage, right? And lying on YouTube view numbers. So keep eating and drinking and giving in marriage and lying on YouTube numbers. Y'all time is almost up. Y'all tap that like button as you're coming on in, all right? We're going with some D Train. You're the one for me. Let's go. Y'all, I'm sipping on some nice filtered water with a little, I got some cucumber in here and some orange watermelon, okay? What's up, Tora Girl? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Karen was on earlier. I think she'll be back on, but she was on earlier. So let me take them you know what? Some of y'all might want to know the words. I'll leave the subtitles. But y'all tap that like button if you're coming in. That's helping out, y'all. Thank you so much. So much. Yeah, the orange watermelon was complimenting to my boy Adam. He got a hook up with a local farmer, and he hooks me up every year, make sure I get the top of the crop, the top of the pick from the watermelon harvest. So shout out to my man Adam. And the cucumber came out of my own backyard, y'all. Yeah, I got some cucumber growing back there. I got some okra growing back there. I got a little cantaloupe growing, some tomato, and a little some cucumber, of course. Did I say cucumber? Watermelon. I got some watermelon growing back there too. So I'm looking forward to it, y'all. Y'all come on in. Come on in. Thank y'all for being here. You're watching Maddie's Rap with author and storyteller Matt Talbot. What y'all doing out there to stay cool in this heat, y'all? Let me know. Let me know. Y'all, if my AC could talk, it would be like, yo, man, I'm going to need you to bring another unit in here to help me out. It's a different kind of hot this year, y'all. It's a different kind of hot. What's up, Sen OJ? Thank you for being here. Y'all come on in. We're going to get the party started. As soon as this song is over, we're just waiting for a few more people to join. Thank y'all for being here. Y'all tap that like button if you're coming in. That's going to help more people to get the notification that we're live and broadcasting. Talking about Lindsay Graham's demise. I'm going to let y'all see how it's an omen, all right? That this revived Roman Empire. It's Pluto. She said, wow, watermelon, awesome. On AC and hydrated water and coconut water. Yeah, coconut water, it depends on the brand for me. Pardon me. Now, I can drink it straight out of the cucumber. Like when I had an account in Hawaii back when I was in corporate America, I had an account out in Hawaii. And I could, they had the local vendors out there with the different things, whatever. And I would get one of those watermelon cut open with they pop the straw in there, whatever. I can drink it straight out of the watermelon. But when it comes to getting it from the supermarket, certain brands don't do so well with me and other ones are fine. So anyway, y'all come on in, y'all, come on in. I hope y'all like the musical selection tonight. James D. Train Williams. I like all his music. I like all his old school. Oh, she's in Florida. Okay. I would love to be in Florida right now out there in the cold. What's up, Karen? She's back. What's up, Karen? Thank you for being here. Yeah, I'd love to be in Florida because little boy growing up in Long Island, New York, y'all, there was nothing more rewarding than going out there as a little boy with my bucket and my fishing pole and my bait and just going out there and catching some fish and bringing it home. Letting either mom or dad, my dad did all the fish cleaning. Mom, she could fry it, but my dad, he was the master. Fillet it, clean it. Still is. My dad's smooth with it. He's smooth with it. So, yeah, I miss those days, y'all. But they're coming back. There is a waterfront property waiting for me somewhere. I promise you that. And it ain't no little joint either. It's a palace waiting for me somewhere. I promise y'all that. Y'all come on in. We get ready to shut it down. Get ready to shut it down so we can turn it up. Thank you all for being here tonight on this Monday night, Monday, July 13th, 2026. We get ready to go in, y'all. I can't wait to get this. I can't wait to hear y'all feedback on this. I got some nice videos for y'all. Got a hot one for y'all tonight. Thank y'all for being here. All right, let me get ready to take this one down, y'all. All right, let's shut it down so we can turn it up, y'all. You're back for another episode of Maddie's Rap with author and storyteller Matt D. Talford. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. And to the returning subscribers, y'all that hold it down, welcome back, family. All right, y'all. So, y'all, I did handwritten notes the last time I was on here, and I really loved it. But today I went back with the digital notes. So we'll see what happens, y'all. We'll see what happens. Anyway, let's get this party started, y'all. I'm going to start like I always do. I'm going to read the description box copy. In tonight's edition of Maddie's Rap Live, we will check in with the collective and see what the internet, what y'all are out there saying about the passing of Senator Lindsay Graham and the questionable status of Senator Mitch McConnell. We will also see what's coming in the cosmos and how it might affect you and the greater collective at large. And of course, no current events live stream would be complete without searching for links between current goings on, numerology, astrological transits, and of course, my backbone, scripture. All right, y'all? So thank y'all for being here tonight. And y'all, I'm learning how to be a salesman. I'm learning how to be a salesman. If you have not seen my work as an author, I want you to do two things. First, I want you to browse over to my website, www.talfordarts.com, and check out my collection of award-winning books, okay? And when you're done there, slide on over to Amazon and read some reviews, see what people are saying about them. I think you will be happy. If you are an avid reader, I think you're going to be happy. I won't say pleasantly surprised, because y'all already vibe with me. Y'all already know how I get down, okay? You're just getting a literary version of Matt. You're literally going to hear my voice when you start reading it, okay? I've had a number of people say that. They said, Matt, why is it when I read your books, it sounds like you're talking, okay? So anyway, y'all check me out. Go to my website, www.talfordarts.com, and check out the reviews over at Amazon. And I will tell you all, thank you all who did the pre-orders. Y'all, Mercury retrograde, Mercury rules what? It rules over communication, information, knowledge. Books and publishing is a part of that, okay? So with this Mercury in retrograde, I have to tell y'all, there have been delays with the pre-orders of the collector's edition. See, collector's edition. Y'all, I'm not gonna go too much into detail, but I had to end an 11-year relationship with the printer that I started with back in 2015. I'm not gonna get into details. It was very disappointing, so much so that I actually reached out to the owner of the company, and yeah, she said, I'm going to talk to my team and have them reach out to you. But it doesn't change anything. Y'all, you got to understand that things happen ultimately for our highest and best good. It was a little bit heartbreaking, but it led to a discovery that's going to make me a lot more efficient with the delivery of my books. So just wanted to give y'all an update, a Mercury retrograde update. Things happen during Mercury retrograde. Also want you to know that when you go over to www.talfordarts.com, you're going to see that I am currently running a Mercury retrograde sale, okay? Books. Mercury has a deal with books. Mercury rules the third house of information, communication, knowledge, that sort of thing. I'm running a Mercury retrograde sale of 15% off at my website, and it is taken off at checkout. So when you go to checkout, you see that it's an automatic discount. You don't have to put in a code. You'll see it come off. I think that discount ends. It ends on the day that the Mercury retrograde ends. So y'all check over there and check. Slow down, Matt. Y'all slide over there and check out the discount and take advantage of it before it runs out, okay? All right, before that date comes. So y'all check it out. Anyway, and thank you to those of you that have put orders in. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that you are enjoying your books. Thank y'all so much, all right? Now, let's get on to tonight's, I'm updating the merchandise store, girl. I'm updating the merchandise, but thank you on that too. I'm doing an update on that. So thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. Now, let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it, because y'all didn't come here to hear me talk about what I got for sale at my website, even though I appreciate y'all checking it out. 1 week after the end of the 5th Jubilee, y'all, Lindsey Graham is gone. He's gone, y'all. And I think that this is a signal that the revived Roman Empire is done. So we're going to be talking about tonight. We're going to be talking about that tonight, and we're going to be talking about what is next. And if you're looking at the title, you can see that I put Pluto in Aquarius in parentheses. That is driving a lot of the behaviors that are going on right now. I shouldn't say behaviors, I should say activity. Your behaviors are yours, okay? This Pluto in Aquarius transit with that happens to be trining. A trine is the highest, what's the word I'm looking for? It is the most harmonious aspect you can have in astrology. So Pluto in Aquarius is also trining Uranus and Gemini, and it is sextiling Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries. So there's a lot of activity going on in those outer planets. Those outer planets, that's your soul's mission, all right? Those outer planets are what's going on externally. The inner planets are what's going on internally. The outer planets are what's going on externally, okay? There's a lot happening out there right now. Oh, and it's also sextiling Jupiter in Leo. I'm talking on the tropical side. So it's a lot of stuff happening that's harmonious. I'm gonna get into that later, y'all. Let me begin by before we begin, I want to read a passage of scripture for y'all. Okay, this isn't the foundational scripture, but before we begin, I think it is very important that I mention this. So let me read this passage of foundational scripture for y'all. Not foundational, it's not foundational. Y'all, you would think that just with a week off, I'd come right back on here and be regular. It feels like it's been a month. Let me bring this up for y'all. This is not the foundational scripture, but this is something that I think is worth mentioning before we get started. So let me go to, that's not what I'm going to. That's the last scripture I had open. Let's go to 1 Peter 5:8. Very important here. Very important. Be sober. This is 1 Peter 5:8, chapter 5, verse 8 from the New Testament, King James Version. Be sober, be vigilant, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Let me give y'all some context for that, okay? Let me give y'all some context. The dark side is short-circuiting right now, and there is a lot of low vibrational static electricity, static energy. There's a lot of low vibrational static out there right now. And if those of you watching me right now, whether you're watching live or you're watching on demand, if you are a highly sensitive energy, if you are a highly sensitive soul, a highly sensitive person, you pick up on energies, whether as extremely subtle or big. If you pick up on energy easily, your energy body has probably been picking up on even the slightest shifts in the quantum field. It's a lot happening right now. It's a lot happening. The dark side is short-circuiting. So stay sharp and do not get caught up in these national news cycles that are designed to put you in low vibrational frequencies of fear and or anger. And I'm speaking specifically because some of y'all might be, well, Matt, you're talking about Lindsay Graham and Mitch McConnell tonight. That's low vibrational. Not really. That's informational. I am speaking specifically of those race baiting stories and even movies, okay? And even movies. I'm gonna tell y'all real quick. This weekend, I'm bored. I'm trying to make myself slow down, y'all. I'm a Capricorn all day, every day. I'm a Capricorn in the street, Capricorn sun, and I'm a Capricorn fourth house. The fourth house is ruled by the moon, so I might as well be a Capricorn moon. It's essentially my secondary moon sign. So even when I'm at home, I'm moving like I'm on Capricorn time. It's difficult for me to sit down. Like when I sit down, I'm like, what could I be doing? I'm trying to learn how not to be guilty for sitting down, but that's seems like it's a work in progress. And you know, Saturn, you got to take your time with Saturn. That's kind of how it is. And Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. So anyway, I'm trying to make myself sit down and chill. And I say, okay, let me pop open Netflix and see if there's a movie out there I want to watch. And I'm not going to name the movie because I want to tell you that movie was very triggering. It was very triggering and it was very race baiting. So I'm not even going to name the movie. Some of y'all might know what it is. Some of y'all may have seen it. I'm not going to name it. But that movie had me in some type of energy. And I really had to work to dispel that energy. So listen, anybody can get caught out here, y'all. Y'all know me. I'm always on here talking about being high vibrational, telling y'all the importance of keeping your vibrations high. If you're in a low vibration emotion, feel it, process it, but don't stay in it. Because the longer you stay in it, the more you invite low vibrational energies, the more you attract things that live at that frequency. So even I, knowing this, have to be careful because sometimes you can get caught out there. So I'm watching this movie. When I turn it on, I'm in here, I'm cussing. I'm like, yeah. And then my dog, he coming over. My dog is highly sensitive to energy too. He's coming over there like, yo, Dad, you all right, man? He got his paws on me. Like, what's up, man? Who did it? Like, where he at? And I'm like, Dad, the dog. All right, let me calm down, man. I don't want to get him rowdy. Yo, this movie is doing the most. This movie's doing the most. And boss lady in the background, she's like, yo, you might want to turn that off. I'm like, nah, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to finish it. You know, military movie. I'm ex-military, whatever. I probably gave away too much there. Anyway, y'all, I had to work. I had to play my frequencies. I had to burn some essential oils, you know, with some eucalyptus and just lift the mood. I got some mint crystals I dropped in this little, y'all have probably seen them. They're like these little charcoal little discs. You light them and then you can put different fragrant scented oils or whatever. Or I like the mint crystals, especially in the wintertime if you got a cold, because they really release that mint essence and it opens up your lungs, your nose, nasal passages, all of that. But it's really high vibrational. So I had to do all of this work, y'all, to bring my vibes back up. And I'm like, man, this enemy's really out here. So there's another story I'm going to share with y'all, but let me keep it moving, okay? So again, stay sharp and do not get caught up in these low vibrational frequencies that's out here. And they're in the movies, they're in the music, and they're definitely in the news. Never any shortage of that, okay? So here's some things you can do. Pray, okay? Number one, pray. And y'all know me by now. Y'all have seen me on this channel for years. When I'm talking about praying, I'm not talking about putting your head down and begging and pleading. No, prayer is powerful activation. I broke down the Lord's Prayer for y'all and showed you the real magic of the Lord's Prayer. It is not no weak, lowly, our Father which art in heaven. No, that is a very powerful activation when you apply intent and you understand what the words mean. So pray, which is commanding and activating the reality that you want to see come into your existence. That's number one. Number two, meditate. And I'm not telling you guys you have to do this. I'm just sharing with you some of the things that I do, my regimen, okay? Meditate. Play your frequencies, your chakra frequencies, whatever chakra you think was affected by whatever you encountered. Play the chakra frequency, whether it's a drum, a sound bowl, a flute, music, piano, whatever. Play whatever frequency that you need, even if it's just a pure tone. Play that frequency that corresponds to the energy zone that you feel like was affected, okay? You got to know how to navigate your energy body. I've been on here working with y'all for years now, okay? A lot of y'all are advanced. A lot of y'all come back and hit me with my own, be like, Matt, did you do da? And I'm like, thank you. Y'all, this is how this works. This is synergy. I'm not on here talking down to nobody and saying thou shalt not. No, this is synergy. I teach y'all what y'all know. What I know, I teach y'all what I know. Y'all teach me what you know. Some of the stuff that y'all give me, I give back to you. Some of the stuff y'all give, I give to y'all, y'all give back to me. That's how synergy works. We help each other grow. We on this journey together, okay? So play your frequencies. Eat as clean as you possibly can right now. Eat as clean as you possibly can. Why? Because you know they out here effing with this food. You know they out here effing with the food. They constantly spraying something on it. You can't. I'm seeing videos now where they're making fake eggs. You think you're getting a real egg from the supermarket? Y'all better start going to your. If you in the South or Midwest or something, or wherever they got local farmers markets, you better go. If you up Northeast, get in your car and drive to the Amish country. They're gonna do you right, okay? Go wherever you can go to get you some real food, okay? And be careful that you protect your spiritual channels. What are they? Your eyes and your ears. Why are they spiritual channels? Because you can't physically touch it. Your physical channels are your skin, your mouth, okay? Those are some physical channels. Your nose, in a sense, because you can breathe in particles and stuff like that. But your eyes and your ears are your spiritual channels because they take in things that we cannot touch, okay? I've got a glass of water here. The glass is tangible, but the sight of the glass is not tangible. That's spiritual. So make sure that you're guarding and protecting your spiritual gates, which are your eyes and ears. If it's low vibe, if you're watching it and it's vexing you, move away from it. If it is, if you're hearing it and it's vexing you, get away from it, cut it off, whatever. If it's low vibrational conversation, be like, nah, y'all, peace, I gotta go. I can't. I'm gonna get at y'all later, much later, okay? And then roll out, okay? So screen what you're watching and what you're listening to. Now, to my men and women that know that you carry special divine gifts. Special, I'm talking to y'all now. If you know that you carry some very special divine gifts, okay? You know you have divine energy. Be very wary in this season of temptation coming at you from the opposite sex. Okay? All right? Be very careful of that. All right? Now, I'm not going to give y'all the details, okay, regarding a temptress that crossed my path at the supermarket last week, okay? This past weekend. Temptress. Yo. I told y'all, man, listen, nobody's immune to an attack. Nobody's immune to an attack. Yo, I ain't gonna give you the details, but suffice it to say that the enemy is putting his finest soldiers out there in attempts to preserve itself. I'm talking about the enemy. What you see, y'all, listen. I know I'm gonna get onto the content, y'all, but this is before we begin. This is the before we begin segment, okay? We'll get onto the content. Sophia Stewart, the writer of The Matrix, is a brilliant mind. Because that movie was based on her book, The Third Eye Matrix, I think it was called. Listen, when you watch that movie, The Matrix, what did we see when somebody who was awakened went out of, when they jumped back into the Matrix to go do something, go rescue somebody or do something or disrupt some work of iniquity? What happened? A regular person walking down the street turns into Agent Smith, right? And I'm sorry if you haven't seen the movie, but it's really old. So I can't really play spoiler on a movie that's been out for over a decade, 2 decades even perhaps. Regular people walking down the street turn into Agent Smith. Why? Because they're on that frequency. So they're on that frequency where they can be used. I'm not saying that this temptress, she had no idea I was coming into the supermarket. I'm just going in. Y'all, listen, I just said I wasn't going to give y'all no details, but I'm going to give you a little bit of details. I had just come off the tennis court. I thought about it. It was late. I was like, you know what, man? I probably shouldn't go out sweaty, like my shirt's sticking to me, whatever. Maybe I should just go home, take a shower, whatever. But I'm like, if I go home at this hour and take a shower, then the thing that I want to get from the supermarket is going to have to wait till tomorrow. And I want it tonight. So it is what it is. Whoever see me, they see me. I don't care. I ain't here trying to do nothing. I'm just trying to get my stuff and get on about my business. You would think I would have you would think that I would not have drawn any attention. If anything, would have been like, why did he come out of the house looking like that? Yo, I'm telling you, man, preserve yourself, because in that movie, The Matrix, a regular person turns into Agent Smith, and Agent Smith attacks Neo. Now, this person didn't attack me, but I'm telling y'all, if you know you got divine gifts, be wary of these temptations coming at you, because the enemy is putting his finest soldiers out there in attempts to preserve itself. All right. And that thinky slick devil is probing for weaknesses. Now, some of y'all probably are wondering, well, what do you mean preserve itself? Why would somebody from the, put it together, y'all. Why would the enemy send somebody from the opposite sex at you in order to preserve itself? There is something that happens at the end of every age flip. A lot of people wonder why. Well, if God destroyed all the Nephilim in the flood, how did they survive? There's some narratives out there, but let me tell you what the download I got during a meditation a couple of years ago. At the end of every age, when the age is about to flip and there's about to be a reset, that old devil preserves itself through the transfer of seed. Y'all do the rest of what you need to do with that. That's how it happens. Transfer of seed to preserve itself going into the next. All right. I'm gonna leave it at that. So now, watch yourselves out there. Stay high vibrational. And if you know you carry a divine gift, just be wary. Some of y'all gonna remember this conversation when it happens, and you're gonna say, "Thank God, Matt said this. I see it. Okay. All right." And that was another situation where I felt like I needed to do some spiritual cleansing after that situation. After that very brief interaction in the supermarket. All right. Now let me keep it moving. Foundational scripture for tonight comes from, y'all could probably guess it, since we're talking about what happened here with these senators and what's going on in the world. One of my favorites, Proverbs 26 and 27. All right, let me read that. Y'all know it. Y'all probably got it memorized. All right. Chi-Town 66 said, "Real talk, Matt. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. All right. So let's do this." She says she just watched it again last week. Toro Girl, I got the whole series. I think I'm going to watch that whole series probably this weekend. I'm trying to train myself to shut it down. Okay. I'm trying to train myself that, Matt, it's okay. You can't work 24/7, 365. Stop working from sun up to sundown. Stop looking for something to do when you've done everything. So I'm learning how to pace myself, and actually I'm grading myself and scoring myself, and I've been doing pretty good here for the last 3 days. Hasn't been long. All right. Here we go. Foundational scripture, y'all. Here we go. Let's get into this. I'll tell y'all why I'm reading this one in a minute, but some of y'all might even already know as I get into the content. Proverbs 26 and 27. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. Okay? That's tonight's foundational scripture. Only got one. I'm going to read some more scripture later, but that is tonight's foundational scripture. So, why that verse, Matt? Why that verse? Let's talk about the numerology of that verse and the date and the age of the subject in the subject. Senator Lindsay Graham, the late Senator Lindsay Graham. Y'all have seen me break this down before. A lot of y'all are regulars coming back, so I'm not going to pause. I'm not going to hold y'all. Proverbs 26 and 27. When you do the numerology, okay, 2 plus 6 is 8, and 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 plus 8 is 17. 1 plus 7 is 8. So Proverbs 26 and 27 breaks down to 8. 8 is the number of karma. So do you see how brilliant the original authors of the Bible were? I don't know how they did what they did, y'all. I'm just keeping it 100. I don't know how they did what they did, but this has numerology encoded into it, because Proverbs 26 and 27 reads, "Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him." That basically means what you put out, you get back. Okay, that is karma. Karma is a feature of the number 8. The number 8 is a Saturnian number. Saturn is where karma lives. Y'all see how they did that? So we're talking about karma. 8, okay? 8. Proverbs 26 and 27. 26 plus 27 breaks down numerologically to the number 8. Now, what else? What else? Where am I? Where am I in my notes? Okay. Okay. That's the verse. That's the numerology of the verse. Now let's look at the date. Mitch McConnell was pronounced gone or transitioned on 7/11. Okay. 11 plus 7 is what? 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. We know that in numerology, 9 represents the end. It represents endings. The number 9 is the end of a cycle. After that, it starts back over at 1. Okay. That's 7/11. Now, his age, he passed away at the age of 71. 7 plus 1 is 8. Do y'all see the connection here? So you got, he passes away at the age of 71. That is 8. 8 is the number of karma. Y'all stick with me. Stick with me. Okay. Stick with me. And he passed away on 7/11. 7/11. 7 plus 11 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. If you want to throw in the 1 for the year, because this is a 1 year, then you got 10. 10 in tarot is the end of a cycle. Okay. It's endings as well. 10 also goes to, if you want to do astronumerology, 10 is the 10th house. The 10th house is ruled by what sign? Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by what planet? Saturn. Saturn, among other things, is not just the keeper of time. It is karma. Okay. Now, Matt, why did you read Proverbs 26 and 27 as the foundational scripture? Why are we looking at this 8 energy? Why are you talking about karma with the late Senator Lindsay Graham? Let me show you tonight's first video. Okay. Because I can show you better than I can tell you. Let's bring up tonight's first video. Thank you all for watching. All right, where's my video folder? Monday night videos. Lindsay Graham. Okay. Let's do this. Let's close that. And let's share the window. Thank y'all for being here. Please tap the like button if you're first coming in, because that's going to send this, help the algorithm send this notification out to more people. Here we go.
When you look at the last few since October 7th,
Uh-oh.
many people in this part of the world say what happened to
Hold up.
Gaza does not.
Hold up. Let me back it up because I don't know if y'all can hear it. Let me turn the volume up. Here we go.
When you look at the last few years since October 7th, many people in this part of the world say what happened in Gaza does not align with Christian values. Killing children, killing mothers,
I'll be honest
killing
with
families
you.
who are not militants.
Yeah, I don't buy that at all.
Hold up. Hold up.
What did
Hold
we
up.
do
It
in
ain't
World War
showing.
II?
It took it off the screen. Hang on, y'all. Let me back it up. I don't know why it stopped sharing. Hang on. Hang on. Okay, there we go.
When you look at the last few years since October 7th, many people in this part of the world say what happened in Gaza does not align with Christian values. Killing children, killing mothers,
I'll be honest
killing
with
families
you.
who are not militants.
Yeah, I don't buy that at all.
Why?
Because what did we do in World War II? Did we think 1 minute about starving the Germans? Did we bomb every city into smithereens? So this is a war. No,
October 7th to World War II.
Yes, I am. This is an absolute existential threat to the Jewish people.
Mm.
What happened on October the 7th was 1,200 people were slaughtered, raped, and murdered and filmed by radical Islamists who would kill every Jew if they could, to the world. If you don't understand this is a threat to Israel's
And then they
survival,
flattened Gaza.
just flatten it. We flattened Berlin. We flattened Tokyo. Were we wrong to drop an atomic bomb to end the Japanese reign of terror? Were we? So my view, if I were Israel, I would have probably done it the same way. Without military victory, there is no hope of breaking radical.
Look at the vitriol in his eyes. Flatten it. Let me back that up.
If you don't understand this is a threat to Israel's
And then they
survival,
flattened Gaza.
just flatten it. We flattened Berlin. We flattened Tokyo. Were we wrong to drop an atomic bomb to end the Japanese reign of terror? Were we? So my view, if I
showing this video on the fair use, this is TikTok. Y'all know how I get down. This comes from their count, THE, or the recount. Sorry, this comes from a TikTok user, the recount. Y'all check it out, okay? Check out their channel, check out their work. These people on TikTok that I procure these videos from are doing some great work. So I share these videos, and I'm glad that TikTok puts these user handles on this so that you guys can see these. Who's getting the credit for these? All right, but I'm showing it under fair use for critical review purposes. Thank you.
just flatten it. We flattened Berlin. We flattened Tokyo. Were we wrong to drop an atomic bomb to end the Japanese reign of terror? Were we? So my view, if I were Israel, I would have probably done it the same way. Without military victory, there is no hope of breaking radicalism. We flattened Germany. We flattened Japan.
How many Americans
Wait a
believe
minute.
this?
Out of that, we
The way that how many Americans think the way that you do?
I think most Republicans think the way I do.
Even young ones.
You're just out of touch if you don't understand Republicans when it comes to radical Islam is on Israel's side. It's not even close.
Now, he talked about what happened on that fateful day in October 2023. But he stopped short of telling you that what the Israeli newspapers reported, which was a lot of those people that were unalived on that day were unalived under the Hannibal Directive of the IDF. So their own people took them out. He didn't mention that. She a better journalist. I mean, she a different journalist than me. I'd have been like, yo, hold up. No, wait, don't flatten nothing else. Don't flatten nothing else. Give me a minute. Then you can go back to flattening, all right? Anyway. So, karma, y'all. That's why I did it. That's why I showed that. That's why you see this number 8. Now, some people aren't going to say it's karma, but I got some more stuff for y'all. I got some more. Let me show you this next one. Hang on just a moment. Let's copy this link and open this here. I have quite a few videos for y'all today. All right, let's do this.
So this link.
All right, and let's share the window. Okay, here we go.
The Graham story is very interesting for so many reasons. So number one, I didn't see it in real time. Last night, woke up this morning, had a text, and then I checked my phone and I was like, what in the world is going on? So everybody has been so consumed with Mitch McConnell and him being on his last leg. Is this a cover up? What all is going on? So I guess Lindsay just kind of slipped through the cracks, right? So here we are. Number two, I don't celebrate anybody's death, but I'm not mourning him because he has done some low down stuff around here for the last couple of years. And I made a video about this back in May, pretty much detailing his alliance to Donald Trump and being a warmonger and pushing for what's going on right now. So I won't go any further with that. But it's amazing because he was just in Ukraine last week, like did a speech on Friday in Ukraine talking about the sanctions that were going to be placed on Russia in Ukraine, touring a drone facility.
I've never been more optimistic than I am today that we have the formula to end this war. Help Ukraine be more lethal. Let those supporting Russia to know it's going to be a price to be paid if you keep doing it. And to try to find an off-ramp, not to humiliate Putin, but to end this war so that Ukraine will thrive and survive.
Next thing we know about this man is he is gone. He's perished. They said it was a sudden illness. So what kind of sudden illness was this? Was there something involved when he was overseas? And also, I want to know who called 911 because they said Lindsay is a single bachelor and he lives alone. Did he have a little company? Was something going on? Was he exerting some effort? Like, what happened? Those are the things that we want to know. Was it a scandal? A bigger scandal?
Y'all, what does she mean when she said, did he have some company? Was he exerting some effort? Y'all tell me in the chat what y'all think she meant. Now, I mean, that might be my mind. I don't know, but she said, did he have some company? Was he exerting some effort? That was slick. That was smooth. That was smooth how she just slid that right in there. That was pretty smooth. Y'all tell me what y'all thought she was talking about. Back to the video.
Let us know. What do you guys think? He is not.
Okay. All right. So let me stop sharing that. That's the end of that one. Okay. Lindsay. All right. Lindsay. Flatten it. He dies at 71. That's 8. That's an 8 energy. Okay. 8 energy is karma. Proverbs 26 and 27 is 8 energy. Karma. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolls a stone is going to go back on him. Let's keep going. I got some other videos for y'all. Next up. All right, let's close this because I don't need that. Thank y'all for being here tonight. If you're just coming in, please tap that like button. That alerts more people and lets them know that we're out here live and broadcasting. Okay, thank you so much. All right, let's see. Lindsay Graham. Let's go with this one right here. Because you're going to hear about this later, but I wanted you to see this. Let's go ahead and share it. When I say later, I'm talking about later in tonight's live stream.
Look at this photo. It's 24 hours old. The senator holding that drone is dead, and the factory around him has reportedly been destroyed. Here's the timeline. Kyiv, Ukraine, 48 hours, 3 events, 1 facility. Every claim sourced, on screen. July 11th, Senator Lindsay Graham tours Skyfall's drone plant in Kyiv, briefed on the Vampire, the Shrike, and the P-1 Sun. He calls it a state-of-the-art enterprise. 12 hours later, everything changes. That same night, in Washington, a cardiac arrest call at Graham's Capitol Hill home, per police scanner audio obtained by NBC News. Hours later, his office announces the senator is dead of what it calls a brief and sudden illness. He was 71, and Kyiv's night was not over. Overnight, Ukraine's Air Force reports 440 drones and 32 missiles launched at the country. And IB Times UK reports the Skyfall facility, the one Graham toured that morning, among the sites destroyed. Ukrainian authorities have not confirmed it. Russia's defense ministry says only military industrial facilities, Kyiv region. A tour, a death, a strike. 1 facility inside 48 hours. Mill data reports only what named sources report, and the record is on screen.
All right. That's that. So I've got one more I want to share with y'all, and I'm going to come back and reference this one. Okay. Let me check my notes. Let me see where we are. Okay. Yeah. This is where it gets interesting, y'all. This is where it gets interesting. Let me play this one.
EMS 6 responders plus anytime at 706 cardiac arrest 414 South Capitol Street Southeast. EMS 6 responders plus Angel 7 Medic 7 with cardiac arrest. 73-year-old male at 414 South Capitol Street Southeast. That channel 311 2054. BLS response ambulance 32 responder plus Angel 32 at 2492 Skyland Place Southeast. BLS response ambulance 32 response plus Angel 32. 2492 Skyland Place Southeast, Cross 24.
All right. I want to play that. That's a short one. I want to play that one more time. I want y'all to listen very carefully because there's some numbers in there. If you're not listening, they went over your head. Okay. I'm going to play it one more time.
EMS 6 responders plus Angel 7 at 706 cardiac arrest 414 South Capitol Street Southeast. EMS 6 responders plus Angel 7 Medic 7 with cardiac arrest. 73-year-old male.
What age was he when he transitioned, y'all? 71. She says 73-year-old male. Something ain't right about that. Let me back it up in case y'all missed it. Let me back it up.
Arrest. 73-year-old male. At 414 South Capitol Street, Southeast. That channel 3.
414 Southampton Street, or whatever street she says. Y'all do the math. 4 plus 1 plus 4. 9. Okay? Is somebody talking in code? Let's keep going.
2054. BLS response, ambulance 32, respond to press.
Let me back. Y'all, I'm gonna back this up one more time. I'm gonna let it play straight through. Y'all listen for these numbers.
EMS 6 responded to person injured at 7 on scene, cardiac arrest, 414 South Capitol Street, Southeast. EMS 6 responded to person injured 7 with cardiac arrest. 73-year-old male. At 414 South Capitol Street, Southeast. That channel 311 2054. BLS response, ambulance 32 responded to person injured 32 at 2492 Skyland Place, Southeast. BLS response, ambulance 32 response to person injured 32. 2492 Skyland Place, Southeast, cross 24.
2492. Somebody want to break that down numerologically for the chat? 2492 is the last number you hear in this little snippet. 2492. So we heard 73-year-old male. That's a little off. We heard 414. That's 414. What number is that? Same number as Proverbs 26 and 27. And then we hear 2492. Was it 2490? 2492? Let me back it up just a little bit. That last number.
92 Skyland Place, Southeast. 32 at 2492 Skyland Place, Southeast. BLS response, ambulance 32, response concentration 32. 2492 Skyland Place, Southeast, cross 24.
Okay, good catch, Tor girl. 2492. What does that break down to? Y'all see? Y'all see? Makes me wonder. Y'all gonna remember this video when I show you the next one, okay? Let's close that. Interesting times, y'all. This is why I tell you, you got to pay close attention when these stories drop, because all you got to do is pay attention. I ain't even got to lead y'all. All you got to do is pay attention. Maybe that's that little bit of Scorpio I got in my chart, that investigator. You're like, wait a minute, something's off there. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, all right? So, y'all pay attention. I want y'all to hear those numbers in that. I'm going to call that 911 dispatcher call, y'all. I'm calling that a play action fake. I'm calling that a play action fake. All right. If y'all familiar with football, y'all know what a play action fake is. That's when the quarterback snaps it, snaps it, runs back, and fakes like he's handing off to the running back to get the defense to go that way. And he's going back the other way and trying to hit a wide receiver that's wide open. Okay. Looking down the field for a receiver that's wide open. That's a play action fake to get you to look another way. I'm calling that call a play action fake. 911 call from somebody calls 911 from his residence back in DC. Okay. Now for the report that blows up all those found in his home and 911 or 911 call accounts that we've been hearing over this last 24, 48 hour news cycle. Hey, he was found in his home. Hey, this person called 911. Can't nobody find who called 911 for starters. Nobody has stepped forward to say that they called 911, right? Miss me with all that. Let me give y'all the video that I saw yesterday. This is why I couldn't go live yesterday. I needed to gather a little bit more information before I went live, because I'm like, something is off and somebody gonna drop it. So I'm just gonna wait to hear them drop it. Here it comes. Here it comes. Now I'm gonna show y'all the report that blows up all of that. Okay. This is from a former 3-letter gang analyst. Okay. Y'all gonna see what 3-letter gang. It's in the little subtitle under his name when you show it. Some of y'all know who Larry Johnson is. Okay. She did say 32 before 2490. Yeah, that's right. That's right. 32. Yep. All right. So, man, y'all want it over there. Let me show y'all what's happening here. Now for the report that blows it all up. Okay. I just split this into 2 different videos, but showing this under fair use. Okay. This is from a YouTube channel called Moral Resistance. So y'all go over there and check it out. He's got some cool videos, some cool work that he does. Okay. His name is Suleiman Ahmed. Okay. And his guest is Larry Johnson, former 3-letter gang intel analyst. All right. from Sonar. His website is sonar21.com. Let me show this. Let me share this to the screen for y'all. See, y'all gotta get the info from the people who know how to get the info. When these stories drop, you got to go get the info from the people who closest to the info. Here we go.
So, but then you think it's a weekend. There's no urgency to return to Washington. But let's say for whatever reason it was urgent, so that you had to get back. Unless you're being medically evacuated, they're not going to bring in a military aircraft to haul you out of there on a normal visit. And so it was either he went the normal route on the train back to Poland, which is at least 10-hour ride, maybe a little longer. Then you catch a plane, and the plane coming back to the United States is at least 10 hours. Bigger headwinds could make it 11. And so that's the normal route. And I'm saying if he just did a normal, this quick in and out, he still got home after the time that he supposedly died at home. So it's sort of tough to die at home when you're not at home. So we're not sure what happened. All I can tell you is the story that's been put out by the U.S. government is a lie.
All right, let me go to part 2. Let's go to part 2. Showing us under fair use.
Back, Larry, U.S. is bombing Iran right now. Obviously, we continue giving the update. They're hitting the Strait of Hormuz. But you had some information you wanted to give about Lindsay Graham. What was the important information that you had, Larry?
He didn't die in his home in Washington, D.C. He either died in Kyiv or was severely wounded or suffered some medical emergency. But the official narrative is that he died in his home at sometime before 8:30 p.m. on Saturday night. So all you got to do is simply say, okay, the normal travel for members of Congress when they go to Kyiv is they fly to Poland, usually Warsaw, but there's another town over close to the border. And
I just want to pause it to let y'all know that is not me adjusting the camera. That was from that live feed where Suleiman is trying to get both pieces in the camera. So that's him. That's not me. I just want y'all to know that, okay? Let me back it up just a little bit. Because I know some of y'all wondering, Matt, what you doing? It ain't Matt. It ain't Matt. It's him.
The members of Congress, when they go to Kyiv, is they fly to Poland, usually Warsaw, but there's another town over close to the border. And then they take an overnight train. That train arrived Friday morning between like 10:30 and 11 a.m. Friday the 10th. That day, Lindsay members with Zelensky and toured a drone factory that the Russians destroyed later that same day. It's not clear if they destroyed it while Lindsay was in it or if they destroyed it after he had left. In any event, if Lindsay was going to, quote, normally return home, he would have the earliest train getting back to Poland leaves between 7:45 and 8 a.m. in the morning. And it's a 9 to 10 hour train ride. So he gets into Warsaw around 5 p.m. Warsaw time, which in the United States is, say, around 10 a.m. Let's say he got there between 5 and 6. He doesn't get on a plane and fly back to the United States until, let's say, 6 o'clock at the earliest, 6 p.m. Warsaw time, which is 11 a.m. DC time. So you're flying west, you're going against headwinds. That trip takes 10 hours. Do the math. What's 11 plus 10? That's 2,100 hours DC time. That's 9 p.m. That's 30 minutes after he supposedly had the medical emergency that they called from his home. Now, more realistically, he probably got in closer. If he had come back normally, it would have been 11 p.m. to midnight that he arrived. So the timeline simply doesn't match up. Now, is there a way he could have been returned to the United States quicker? Oh, yeah. There are these medical evacuation flights that do go out of, I don't think they go out of Kyiv. I think they go out of like Lvov. But let's just say it comes out of Kyiv. That's still from Kyiv, then that's an additional that's still a 12 to 13 hour flight to get back to the United States. So the story that's being put out is just complete bullshit. So we don't know what happened to him in Kyiv, but he certainly did not make it home and then have a sudden illness. I jokingly said he died of lead poisoning.
Larry, there was also a report that if you can just clarify, there was a report that there was a drone factory that in Ukraine that was struck, and he was in that drone factory, and he was at that. Do you have any information in regards to that?
Well, no, I just said that. I said he was visiting a drone factory that was in later that day. We don't know if it was destroyed while he was there or if it was destroyed after he left.
Do we have the time?
But the drone factory he visited, no, we don't have the time.
Okay. And so that's huge news. A lot of people were speculating about what's going on. I mean, just seems to suggest that something untoward happened in Ukraine for sure. And it was too random, to say the least.
Okay. Excuse me for interrupting.
Yeah.
But let me, again, just think it through on the timeline. If everything's normal, he arrives normally in Kyiv because, that's how they do it. In fact, the United States pre-coordinates with Russia, so they don't attack the trains. And Russia in the past has not attacked those trains. So he arrives in Kyiv, he meets with Zelensky. At some point, there's video footage of him going through this drone factory. He's holding up one of the drones, smiling, because it's sort of shaped like a dildo. So that we may have had some other thoughts going through his mind with respect to the drone. Got a hot missile up the tailpipe, huh?
Oh man, come on now, come on, bruh, come on, Larry, not the hot missile up the tailpipe, Larry. Come on, bruh. I like him too, Tor girl. I like him too. What's up, 5232? So getting back to my point, y'all. That blows up all of that narrative about a 911 call and he was found in his home. Listen, y'all, let me explain something. How many of y'all have seen these shows like 24 on Fox years ago with Jack Bauer and Homeland? If you've seen any of these movies, what do they always do? They always put out an official story to keep the public, calm. But the reality is this, getting back to that 8 energy, that karma energy. If you think about what this country has done over the last however many years, okay? They set up these meetings. Hey, let's go do peace talks over here. And people like Iran, they send their people there. And what happens? Israel or the U.S. drops a missile and takes out some scientist or some top general or some top Iranian military commander or something like that. It almost sounds like they got right back what they put out, Proverbs 26 and 27. It's almost like somebody said, hey, Russia and Ukraine are at war. Lindsay gonna be over here. By the way, he's going to go look at this drone factory and Ukraine, the reports say Ukraine been tearing Russia up with drones. So to Russia, Lindsey Graham was as anti-Russia as allegedly these Iranian military generals and scientists were anti-Israel and anti-America. So Russia, basically Israel and the U.S. taught Russia they taught them the playbook. Hey, when you got somebody who is staunchly against us going to this place, boom, that's what it looked like to me. But y'all tell me in the chat. Okay, that is why I dropped that Proverbs 26 and 27 as the foundational scripture. That's 8 energy, Saturn energy, karma. Whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein. So it sounds like they used him as the bait to find out. Who's to say one can make the argument that the Ukraine didn't even, or that Russia didn't even know where that drone factory was, and that Lindsay led him right there to it. Nobody knows how he officially was unalived, but as Larry said, if you do the math, he didn't get unalived. He didn't have a medical emergency at his home. So y'all got to pay attention to these stories, all right? Y'all got to pay attention. So Lindsay transitions back to the ethereal realms in a personal 8th year. He was 71 years old. That's a personal 8th year for him, okay? And on a 9-day, because 7 plus 11 is 18, 1 plus 8 is 9, in a 10 calendar year, okay? 2026. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 6 is 10. This is a 10-year. 8, 9, 10. That's a progression, okay? And let's not forget one small detail that you will miss if you're not looking for it. How many times have I come on here and showed y'all where certain celebrities were quote unquote unalived and the internet streets talking saying this person was sacrificed under a Taurus moon? Now, on the 11th of July, it was a Gemini moon on the tropical zodiac calendar. In the tropical transits, it was a tropical Gemini moon. But in the Vedic sidereal astrology, it was a Taurus moon. Vedic sidereal, a lot of spiritual stuff happening there. So he lost his life during a Taurus full moon. Not Taurus full moon, a waning moon in Taurus. Okay, waning energy is energy that's leaving. Taurus is the sign of the bull. Okay, could that date have been selected? We don't know. Y'all can play with that one if you want. Okay, in either case, I'm looking at that 8 energy as karma hitting and that 8, 9, 10 energy as a progression, but toward what? Maybe that is answered by the passage from the book of Jeremiah that I'll be reading a little bit later on in this video. And let's not forget, y'all, you know what? I'm not going to jump ahead because I cover that later in my notes, but there's an interesting timeline that even goes with his passing. I'm going to cover that a little bit later. So let me read 3 karmic passages of scripture for y'all now. I've been telling y'all on this channel for the last 6 years, the Bible and the ancient text from which it was derived, and not just the 66 books, but also those books that were left out, that some body of men who weren't responsible for writing it, who weren't even of the lineage of those who wrote it, decided that they didn't need to go in there. All of those are spiritual. They're not religious. The religious establishment took them over. I'm here to show you the spirituality in them, okay? Let's read Proverbs 26 and 27 again. I'm going to open the Bible app back up, okay? We getting somewhere, y'all. Karma, Proverbs 26 and 27. Whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth the stone, it will return upon him. Karma. The next one is Psalms 7, chapter 7, verses 11 through 15. Let's go there. Psalms chapter 7, verses 11. Psalms chapter 11, verses, I don't have it highlighted. Psalms chapter 7, verses 11 through 14. God judges the righteous, and God is angry with the wicked every day. Did it say he's angry with the wicked once a week? Did it say he's angry with the wicked all year until the Day of Atonement? Did it say he's angry with the wicked sometimes? No. It says God judgeth the righteous, meaning he takes the righteous and he says, look, are you doing judging is I'm watching you to see if you're doing what you're supposed to do. That's judgment. Okay. I'm evaluating you. Another word for judgment there is evaluation. God evaluates the righteous, and God is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He hath bent his bow and made it ready. He hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutor, meaning he got an ordination. When you're ordaining an arrow, you're saying that's almost like writing the name of who you want that arrow to hit on the arrow. Okay. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors. The wicked out there, the Most High got an arrow with their name on it. And then verse 14, behold, he travaileth with iniquity and hath conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood. Who is he talking about? The wicked. Verse 15, he made a pit and digged it and is fallen into the ditch which he made. And then verse 16, his mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate, which is an archaic word for head or somebody who's big-headed, so to speak. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down on his own pate. What did he tell the female interviewer? Flatten it, flatten it, flatten it. We flattened Tokyo. We flattened Japan. We flattened Germany. Flatten Gaza. Verse 16 kicked in. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. Okay? That was Psalms 7 and 11. I got 15 here. It was through 16. All right. So next, Isaiah 55 and 11. Isaiah 55 and 11. I gave you two karma scriptures right there. Now let me show you the glue. Let me show you what locks that karma in. This is what locks that karma in. Isaiah 55 and 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. What did he want it to prosper? Right here, verses 15 and 16. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. If God said it, it's going to happen. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. If God said it, it's going to happen. Whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth the stone, it will return upon him. If God said it, it's going to happen. That goes back to Isaiah 55 and 11. Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Now, we can't sit here and mention Lindsey Graham without also mentioning Mitch McConnell. Okay, Mitch McConnell, Republican senator. Some people are saying the late Mitch McConnell, but that's not official. That's the word on the internet streets. Mitch McConnell, senator from Kentucky, that's been in there for longer than some of y'all age. Okay, he's been in Congress longer than some of y'all are old. Okay, Mitch McConnell has been out of service for a month now. Y'all may not have known this. Some of you do. He was hospitalized on Donald Trump's birthday, which was the 14th of June. Okay, Mitch McConnell has been out of service since June 14th. Let me show y'all what was happening with Mitch McConnell. Okay, and I'm gonna show y'all the link between those two, and then we're gonna get on. We're gonna get on. Here we go. Let's share this to the screen. If y'all are enjoying this video so far, tap that like button for me. It's really gonna help. And roll it.
What in the necromancy is going on with Mitch McConnell? Like, who is keeping this corpse alive?
First of all, I support
showing these videos under fair use.
The president's doing in Iran.
Like, the rigor mortis is setting in. His lips are fucking purple. This man is 84 years old. There has to be term limits. Like, the hypocrisy and the insanity of our actual government is just beyond. These decrepit white men are still holding power. Like, that corpse is making laws about women's bodies. You got this man who is 2/3 of the way in the fucking grave trying to take us back to his golden years. These people are not going to be on this planet, and yet they are making decisions that will impact generations and generations to come. And it's because they're so fucking afraid of progress. And look at it, like, there is no reason why we should allow people over a certain age to make decisions about the fucking government.
That part.
They do not represent the majority. Most, if not all, of their friends are fucking dead. I can't. I literally, I had it on my 2025 bingo card that he was going to be dead, but here he is. I guess it's true what they say, the good die young, and the evil, rotten lasts forever.
Well, damn. Tell us how you really feel. Next video. But a lot of people feel that way, y'all. They should have, listen, not just term limits for senators and congressmen. They should have age limits for presidents. All right. You shouldn't be allowed to run for office if your 65th birthday, if you turn 66 before the inauguration date, you should not be even eligible to run. Period. That should be non-negotiable. All right. For the same reason. But that's a story for another day. I didn't make the rules, so I really don't give a crap. All right. There's some prophecy coming up that I'm going to read for y'all, which is the reason why I don't give a crap. Here we go. Showing this under fair use. Here we go.
Stop doing the work of Republicans. This photo is fake as hell. And the fact that there are news outlets, credible news outlets report.
So let me tell y'all what's going on. On the same day that the late Senator Lindsay Graham transitioned, the Mitch McConnell team put out this photo, okay? I'm going to show you, I already see some flaws with it myself. Like the first time I looked at it, I'm like, why does that pillow configuration behind him look like a green screen? Like there's no indentation. Anyway, all right, let me keep going. But this is, they put out a photo of proof of life because the internet is buzzing and saying that Mitch McConnell's not here anymore. And a lot of people feel like he passed away in June when he went to the hospital. But Lindsey Graham passes away. They put out this Mitch McConnell proof of life video, okay? Or not video, but this photo with a newspaper in it. I'll let y'all listen to the rest.
Stop doing the work of Republicans. This photo is fake as hell. And the fact that there are news outlets, credible news outlets reporting this as if it's fact, as if it's Bible, that Mitch McConnell is not only still alive, but that he looks better than he did a decade ago. You don't get a facelift with a cardiac arrest, which I assume is what happened because CPR was given. He just had a fall or pneumonia. No, girl, he's dead. He's dead. But this achieves what Republicans wanted it to achieve anyway, because it's just going to delay the inevitable. And that's what they're trying to do. They're not trying to sell you that Mitch McConnell is ready to run a marathon. Okay. They're not trying to sell you on anything other than just deflect until they can get to a point where they're past the August deadline. That's all they need. And Republicans do this all the time. They don't have to be right. They just have to be right long enough to get to the next event in the news cycle that's going to take all the attention and focus away from this. Just watch. This man is deader than dead, and I'm insulted that people are looking at this picture that's obviously from years ago and has been photoshopped in with some sort of sketchy rendition of yesterday's paper or whatever it is. And y'all just are lapping it up and believing it like Republicans have never lied to you. Babe, are you okay?
All right, so I'm going to back this up a little bit and pause it.
Lied to you, babe.
All right, so let me see if I can zoom in on. Can I zoom in? No, I can't. Let's see. All right, so y'all look right here. Y'all follow my mouse. Okay. First of all, I see some things wrong with this picture. Okay. First of all, why is this line? Look at this corner right here. Follow my mouse. This corner is pretty much perpendicular to the floor. Now, this is the same section of wall. Why is this corner perpendicular to the floor at 90 degrees to the floor? But this thing right here is angled. So we're angled here and angled here, but this is perpendicular to the floor. That's my first problem. Secondly, he is so far forward, this looks like a cutout silhouette, and the pillow looks like a green screen behind him. Okay? What do we not see over here? There is nothing above. I wish I had just taken a screenshot so I could zoom in on it, but it's fine. Y'all just follow along with me. Okay? His hand is on, it's on the newspaper. It's on the newspaper. If I back it up, there's another video coming up. You'll see his hand. His hand is on, allegedly, on that newspaper. But my problem is there's nothing showing that he's backed up against this pillow, okay? There's no indentation in it. There's no indentation here, but there's indentation a little bit from her arm. Where's the indentation from his body pushing into the pillow? Anywhere else? It looks like they tried to make this look wrinkled, but he's not leaning against it. It looks like a cutout. It literally looks like the pillow behind him is a green screen. And again, these angles do not line up with this angle right here. So that's a problem for me. All right, let me keep it moving because I got another one for y'all. They be trying to fool the internet, man. Yo, listen. And did y'all hear her? Yo, fellas, any fellas watching me? Fellas, my dudes out there, be sure you get you a female on your team with an eagle eye, because they ain't missing nothing. They ain't missing no details. Get a female on your team with an eagle eye, fellas. All right, here we go. Next video. All right, now this dude right here, he gonna go all the way in. This is about at the level of the Larry Johnson video y'all saw. He going all the way in. All right, hang on. Thank y'all for watching tonight. I know y'all could be anywhere else on a Monday night, but y'all hanging out with me, and I don't take that lightly. Here we go.
The fact that I even have to talk about this pisses me off, but let's get into it, shall we? Because on the same day Lindsey Graham died, Mitch McConnell's people released.
There's his right hand allegedly holding the newspaper for the who asked that. I think that was Sen OJ. You can see the full photo that they put out there. Okay, let me back it up.
The fact that I even have to talk about this pisses me off, but let's get into it, shall we? Because on the same day Lindsey Graham died, Mitch McConnell's people released proof of life, complete with like, here's today's newspaper kind of thing, like he's being held for ransom. A lot of people automatically went, this is AI, this is fake, this isn't real. And I think there's a valid reason people would respond that way. So first and foremost, is the image AI? According to AI detectors, no. 86% real. Does that mean it's not AI?
Now, y'all know these AI detectors are owned by the same people that own the fact checkers, right? You can't trust these fact checkers anymore. But let me keep it moving.
No. AI is constantly evolving and changing. These detectors scramble to keep up. I ran it through like 5, though, and all of them said 86% real, which is an interesting number because it says it's 14% digitally edited, or the likelihood thereof, which is interesting because, one, if this image is AI and it doesn't detect it, okay, but also it wouldn't detect Photoshop. Just good old-fashioned skilled person doing Photoshop. It can't detect that. It can detect, however, that some sort of alteration was happening. And I would ask, why do you need to digitally alter an image just showing that Mitch McConnell is alive? My question is more about things like, how is he de-aging? Like, did he go in for a Benjamin Button procedure? Because this is him right before all of this. And now in the aftermath of severe illness, he looks younger. Speaking of, also, apparently his wife had this.
Look at the hair color. His hair is completely white before he goes in. Now, allegedly, in the photo they put out, his hair is turning black again. Miss me with that.
In for a Benjamin Button procedure, because this is him right before all of this. And now in the aftermath of severe illness, he looks younger. Speaking of, also, apparently his wife had the same procedure while in China. Because how is she looking younger? Also, the newspaper's real, but of course it is. Like, you wouldn't include it if you weren't going to have it be something that people could check against. But there's still weird anomalies with the newspaper. I think that's less of a deal than
that. I don't know what that is underneath his fingertip, between his finger and the newspaper, but that looks suspect too. That doesn't look like straight up paper. That's sus. But anyway.
The newspaper's real, but of course it is. Like, you wouldn't include it if you weren't going to have it be something that people could check against. But there's still weird anomalies with the newspaper. I think that's less of a deal than the rest of it. But honestly, my questions have less to do with this image and more to do with the timing. Why is this the first we're hearing this? Why are we just getting details now when people have been questioning whether or not he's alive for a while? I think it's because that video came out showing paramedics loading him into the ambulance, and they were not in a rush. They were chilling. And him having any kind of serious issue would not make sense unless he was gone, or, as their statement said, oh, he had like a small fall and then just developed pneumonia. I think they were just trying to cover for that, especially since some other source came out and said, no, he coded at the house, he was gone, that's why there's no urgency. And all these Republicans who claim to have talked to him, why is he not talking to like the only people that matter, like Andy Beshear, governor of the state he represents? He hasn't heard from him. Why wouldn't you have talked to him? It doesn't matter if he's a Democrat, if you don't like him. You talk to him. That's the person that you go, hey, man, I'm doing okay. I'm getting better. He wouldn't have been out here like putting your business on Front Street. He would have been looking out. He would have been saying, hey, I've talked to him. He's good. He did not. Occam's razor dictates if he's still alive, it's only in the most literal sense of the word, and he's certainly not able to do his job. The American people deserve to know that and deserve to have him replaced.
Well. The plot thickens, y'all. The plot thickens. Okay. So the two men who have arguably been the most staunch supporters of 1948 state and Ukraine are looking like they're no longer here. One reportedly, the other one, well, the internet is saying he's gone, but people are suggesting that he's alive and recovering. I guess the official story, we'll find out later, right? Like that BB thing back in April where they were like, oh, he got hit by an Iranian missile, him and his brother, their apartment got hit. And then nobody hears from him for like a week and a half, 10 days, whatever. And then they start putting out fake proof of life videos, and all of a sudden he's back. Are they working on his mask and his actor? Oh, did I say that? Y'all need to know. I know the dark side be watching these channels too. Y'all need to know what the internet's saying about y'all. Y'all ain't fooling nobody. All right, let's keep it moving. Okay. So whatever the case might be, do you now see that this could be the beginning of the prophecy of Jeremiah 30? I've been reading this Jeremiah 30 prophecy on this channel for years, and it looks like it's kicking in now. I told y'all, man. I told y'all, just wait. There's this thing called divine timing. Everything that is written, everything that is spoken by the divine, everything that is written in the heavens is going to come to pass. It's just a matter of time. Okay. So let me read that prophecy of Jeremiah 30 that some of y'all, probably some of the new people that are just chiming in, never heard. But let me read it for you. And I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I'm going to read Jeremiah 30, verses 8 through 11, and then verses 16 through 21. Let me jump over there. I think this is the kicking in of the Jeremiah 30 prophecy. The Bible's a spiritual book. They try to make it religious. It never has, man. What did I say that was? Oh, I jumped off my Jeremiah 30 and 8 through 11, and then 16 through 21. Jeremiah 30 and 8 through 11, and then 16 through 21. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck. Who is the his? The stranger. It comes up later in this verse. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck and will burst thy bonds. And strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. Who? Jacob. Okay? Jacob. It's mentioned here in verse 7. Okay? Jacob. Stranger. For those of you that saw my last video, stranger, I broke it down in the Bible Concordance. Stranger is a foreigner, a sojourner, okay? A colonizer. Go read it for yourself, okay? A sojourner, a foreigner, someone that's not from the land that they're on. That's a stranger. Let me read that one more time. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck and will burst thy bonds. And strangers shall no more serve themselves of him, but they shall serve the Lord their God and David their king, whom I will raise up. Okay, that's not the ancient King David that they showing you in all the movies and all the Amazon series, David, House of David. No, okay. David Dawad is a title, one who unites two houses, one who unites two houses. That's what Dawad means, okay? But they shall serve the Lord their God and Dawad their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore, fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Most High, neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, I will save thee from afar. Is he talking to 1948 state? Y'all put that in the chat and let me know. For lo, I will save thee from afar. If he talking to 1948 state, then they already over there, right? Therefore, fear not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Most High, neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, look, pay attention, I will save you from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. If they're in the land already, how they captive? And Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. They pretty afraid over there every time no alarms go off for the air raid sirens. Verse 11, for I am with thee, saith the Lord, to save thee, you, though I will make a full end of all nations where I have scattered you. I'm gonna make a full end of all nations where I've scattered you. If they're scattered and they're not all over here, they all haven't made Aliyah. That means it's a bunch of them here in the United States. Has he scattered them to United? Is he gonna make a full end of the United States? Yeah, but not in that context. Verse 11 again, for I am with thee, saith the Lord, to save thee, though I will make a full end of all nations, whether I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee. I'm gonna make a full end of all the nations where I sent you, but I'm not gonna make a full end of you. But I will correct you in measure. Okay, I'm gonna correct you little by little, and will not leave you altogether unpunished. Meaning, it's some wicked ones of us over here. It's some wicked ones of us that went and ran over there and said, well, hey, that's the land over there, and I want to be under Rabbi such and such, and disrespect my daddy and drop my daddy's last name and take on the name of this rabbi that saw me into his synagogue. Disrespect your daddy's name, drop your daddy's name, and take on the last name of a rabbi you never knew until 5 years ago. Let's jump down to verse, what's the other one I said? Verse 16 through 21. Y'all, it's happening. It's happening. Don't get mad at Matt. It's written. 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto you, and will heal you of your wounds, saith the Lord, because they called you an outcast, called you the N-word, called you an African American, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Don't nobody want y'all. Who coming for y'all? Ain't nobody coming to rescue y'all. Y'all ain't getting no reparations. Verse 18, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents. I will call it back. I will undo it. I will repent of my sending Jacob into captivity. Behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents and have mercy on his dwelling places. And the city shall be builded upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. The city built upon its own heap. For something to get built upon its own heap, that means something, whatever's there in front of it, has got to get destroyed. Y'all keep seeing all these excavations they do. They go down and they see layers upon layers of ancient civilizations. They dig down, they find the last ancient civilization before that one was buried. They dig down below that one, they find another ancient civilization that was buried before that one. These are cycles, okay? Some say these are 6,000 year cycles. 6,000 year cycles. Okay? Inhale, exhale. Matt says that a cosmic age is 3,000 years. One cosmic age is masculine, the other cosmic age is feminine. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. If a masculine age is 3,000 years, and then a feminine age is 3,000 years, 3,000 years in, 3,000 years out. That's a cycle. Some say these are 6,000 year cycles. And this astrological this astrological event that's coming up later this week that I'm going to show y'all toward the end of this video, which we're past the halfway mark now. There are astrologers out there that are saying that this particular configuration only happens every 6,000 years. Y'all, this is a mighty time we're in right now. Let me keep going. Verse 19. And out of them, let me read 18 again. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents and have mercy on his dwelling places. And the city shall be builded upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. And out of them shall proceed thanksgiving and the voice of them that make merry. And I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. Ain't gonna be no more abortion clinics in the hood. Okay, I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. Ain't gonna be no more taking jabs that turn off a female's reproductive cycles or destroy a man's swim team. I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small. Their children also shall be as they were aforetime, and their congregation shall be established before me. Their collective shall be established before me. Sound like somebody getting ready to set up shop on the earth again for a period. And I will punish all that oppress them. Here's the part. Here's the part. When you see two pillars of the establishment go down within the same month. Here's the part. Verse 21. and their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from the midst of them. And their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from the midst of them. Y'all, we're not gonna reset on the door. We're not gonna reset on the door. Okay? We are knocking a reset on the door. Let me stop that. That was Jeremiah chapter 30, verses 8 through 11, and then verses 16 through 21. Now, let me quickly recap that July 4th video that I did 1 week ago, where I talked about the numerology of that day. July 4th, 2026 was America's 250th anniversary. 250 years equals a Jubilee period times 5. A Jubilee period is 50 years. So there have been 5 Jubilee periods in these here United States since the Declaration of Independence. 5 is the number of change. Things change when you hit the number 5. The number 5 in numerology, 1 through 9, 5 is the swing point. That's the top of the mountain. You go up to 5, you come back down, you start coming back down. You build up from 1, you hit the peak at 5, and then you start coming back down 1. 5 is also the number of activation. What gets activated with this 5th Jubilee period ending? Also, 250 reduces to the number 7. In scripture, 7 is completion. 7 days in a week. God created the earth in 6 days. On the 7th day, he rested. Lindsay, a so-called warmongering pillar of the old guard, is gone. And that just 1 week after the end of what I interpreted as the end of the U.S.'s final Jubilee period. If you ask Matt to bet an honest day's salary on whether or not these United States have another Jubilee period, I'm going to say no. Why? Because 5 is the number of change. Go read Daniel chapter 2. Figure out what that last kingdom is. A part with the feet part iron, the feet iron and toes part iron, part clay. Y'all go figure that out. Okay? I ain't breaking that down tonight. Matt says it ain't going to be another Jubilee period. This is it. Okay? 5 is the number of change. 5 is the number of activation. And 7 is the end of a week. Okay? So what's ahead? What's next? We got the North Node entering Aquarius. Okay? We got the North Node entering Aquarius. Y'all know the North Node changes signs every 18 months. What is the North Node? The North Node is the waypoint for the planet. It's the planetary direction setter. It sets the direction for the energy on the whole planet. Okay? Regardless of what your North Node sign is. Now, your North Node sign, you may be in your North Node return. I know some people that are coming up on their North Node return because they were born when the North Node was in Aquarius. Okay? So you may be coming up on your North Node return. That is going to be a significant period for you. Okay? If your North Node is in an air sign or a fire sign, this could be a very harmonious period for you. If your North Node is in a water sign or an earth sign, this could be a little rough and tumble, a little bit. Okay? But let's keep going. The North Node is entering Aquarius. If the North Node's in Aquarius, the South Node is entering into Leo. Y'all do know that Aquarius represents the rebel and the humanitarian, the one who goes against the grain, the one who bucks the system. Leo, its opposite, is the sign of the ruler. Leo is the sign of kings and rulers. The South Node is what is being retired. Okay? The South Node is the energy that's being retired. The North Node is the energy that is being undertaken. So we're entering into this North Node in Aquarius, where it's going to sit for the next 18 months. Okay? The South Node is in Leo. What does that mean? That means some power brokers, some leaders are being retired. I also told y'all that the North Node don't change on a dime. You start feeling that energy roughly 90 days before the date where it stations at 29 degrees, because the North Node moves backwards. Okay? It goes from 29 degrees to 0 degrees. All the other planetary placements go from 0 degrees to 29 degrees before it changes sign. The North Node and the South Node move in the opposite direction. So you got a North Node in Aquarius, okay, that's about to hit the 29-degree point, I think at the 24th day of this month, I think it's the 24th. I'm not, don't quote me on that. And I'm not going to look it up, okay, for time's sake. But it is this month, and I think it's the 24th that the North Node enters into the sign of Aquarius on the tropical channel, on the tropical zodiac wheel. Now the Vedic wheel, it's going into Pisces. Okay. So anyway, let's talk about that, y'all. The North Node's going into Aquarius, the South Node's in Leo. Rulership is being retired. We when the North Node goes into Aquarius, meaning the South Node's in Leo, we start to see the fall of leaders, the fall of rulers. That's happening. We just saw two stalwarts, two pillars of the American Senate. They're gone. And we ain't even, the North Node has not even stationed in the sign of Aquarius yet. We ain't even there yet. We're still days away. Next, the North Node will also now be conjunct Pluto, meaning it's in the same sign as Pluto. Pluto is what? The destroyer and the regenerator. Pluto destroys that which does not work and replaces it with something that does. So with Pluto already sitting in Aquarius and the North Node is going to be joining it in the same sign of Aquarius, this is giving even more power to the planet's destiny GPS. Pluto is also raw power. It takes power to destroy and regenerate, right? Pluto is a very powerful planet energetically. So you got this power planet, Pluto, Scorpio energy, by the way. For those of y'all that want to sign and go Pluto, Pluto rules over the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio has co-rulers, Mars in traditional astrology and Pluto in modern astrology, okay? So Scorpio is the energy of transformation. So you got some powerful transformation that is being powered by Pluto with this North Node in Aquarius. That's almost scary if you're wicked. If you're a wicked ruler, you should be very afraid. A lot of them probably running underground right now, okay? A lot of them are literally probably running underground right now. You think it's a coincidence Obama and them dropped that movie a couple years ago, Leave the World Behind? Remember the line that Mahershala Ali was talking about when he was telling the guy, hey, I know this guy, and he said, this is what's coming. He said, if you got someplace you could take your family, get out of here, blah, 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 blah. I ain't trying to scare nobody. Because if you righteous, you ain't got to be scared. If you wicked, you got a lot to be concerned with, okay? If you're a wicked ruler, you got a lot to be concerned with. The North Node will now be conjunct Pluto. So the North Node is going to be given extra power from the planet of power, of destruction, death, and regeneration. All right? You could consider this, if you want an analogy, you could consider this like a laser-guided missile or bomb. All right? So whatever is written in the heavens and is marked for deletion and recreation, this transit ain't going to miss it. This transit is not going to miss it. Now, this Leo in the South Node again, with Aquarius in the North Node, signals the rise of the liberator and the fall of corrupt rulership. Remember, Leo is a sign of rulership and it's being retired to the South Node. So let's talk about this Barbo's basket that all of the astrology heads are talking about right now. This is that thing that only takes place once every 6,000 years, okay? This particular alignment, okay, with 4 planets at 4 degrees. 4 planets at 4 degrees for 4 days. Y'all go look that angel number 444 up. That's powerful angelic protection. 444. You got 4 planets that are in this wonderful trine and sextile association with each other or aspect of each other, forming a basket. A basket. What do baskets do? Baskets carry things. What's being carried? Swing low, sweet chariot. Let's talk about this Barbo's basket. A very rare astrological alignment happening later this week, lasting for about 4 days. Okay? Let me show y'all some Barbo's basket videos. Barbo, B-A-R-B-A-U-L-T, a Frenchman, a French astronomer, a French astrologer, not astronomer. Could have been an astronomer. I don't know. Astronomy is like study of the planets, and their astrology is the energy. You're studying the energy and how it affects us. Okay? There's a slight difference there. Anyway, I'm not gonna get dogmatic. Let me leave it. Let me show y'all some Barbo basket videos, okay? All right, we're coming toward the end of the video. Let's show y'all some Barbo basket videos. All right, I got 4 of them. Let's get this on the screen. Thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate you guys. Here we go.
Rare astrological event is happening this month, and we have to talk about it. This is what you need to know. This is actually a prediction that was made almost a century ago by a famous astrologer, and this was one of the last major periods that he actually warned people about. His name was Andre Barbeau, French astrologer who actually spent decades studying how planetary cycles correlated with major turning points in history. And years before 2020 happened, Barbeau actually had wrote about an extremely difficult global period happening around that time, like a contradiction, a disruption, and a collective crisis. He passed in 2019, and then 2020 happened. What makes this all really fascinating is that what he predicted for this year in 2026, what he saw for this month, not more in darkness, but rather like a rebirth and a relaunch, a new chapter of civilization. So this month, between July 19th and the 21st, we reach one of the most talked about astrological configurations of the year. It's 4 major planets that are lined up approximately 4 degrees of 4 different signs. So Pluto is in Aquarius, Neptune is in Aries, and Uranus is in Gemini. Also, Jupiter is in Leo. So those are the 4. So spiritually, we want to look at what each planet represents. Pluto is transformation, power, and systems. Neptune dissolves old dreams and imagines new ones. Uranus is revolution and technology and shifts happening. Jupiter is all about expansion. It expands whatever it touches. This is why astrologers are looking at this moment not as the birth of something that happens overnight, but seen as a threshold, because there is a difference between a new world beginning and a new world becoming operational. So look around at all the things that are happening right now. We're already kind of questioning everything. Like, what is money? Who controls information? What are we learning? What are we knowing? Who do we trust? How is intelligence playing into all of this? What does leadership actually look like to us, and what does community look like? The old structures are being challenged, but the new ones maybe aren't fully formed yet. And maybe that's exactly where we are right now. And that's okay. Not at the end of the world, but at the end of the version of it that previously existed. And the question that I want you to kind of sit with now for this time is, if humanity really is entering a new chapter, who are you becoming so that you can lead it? Because collective transformation is never only collective. It moves through every single one of us. So follow along, because there's going to be other parts. I'm going to talk about this a lot more. It's just such a rare configuration, and it's really, really interesting. So depending on your sign and where it falls in your birth chart, it can also impact you in a different manner. So follow along and stay tuned.
Y'all, let me tell you something. I personally think that money as we know it is going away, because in my opinion, money is how these dark powers that run this planet control the masses in humanity. Money got everybody working for money to pay a bill to live. Like, why are you paying a light bill? Why are you paying a mortgage on a house? Why do you have to borrow money from someone to build a house? Why can't you just go and get a kit and build the house that you want on some land that was apportioned to you? Why are you? I'm not going to get into the scripture where the Most High apportioned lands to peoples. I think some ancient civilization type of vibe is coming back. Atlantis, Lemuria, something ancient is coming back, because this right here, it's time for it to be retired. People don't even want to go to work anymore. They're like, why am I going to work? Why am I doing this? You're paying me just enough to keep me coming back to work for you, when my heart's song is playing different music than this music, this band you got me in right now. Anyway, next video. I think we're going to see an end to money though, as we know it. I really do. I think there's a new currency coming.
Let's chat Barbeau's basket, shall we, darling? Andre Barbeau was a French astrologer who accurately predicted many things, namely the 2020 global pandemic. He noticed that when the outer planets were clustered together in the sky, leaving what he called a trough or an empty space in the skies, that we had disorder, disruption, catastrophe. So in the way that we observe contrasts in astrology, we have a cluster of outer planets forming catastrophic events, then it stands to reason that if we have a wide set of outer planets creating, say, a basket, then we have what was Andre Barbeau's final prediction. We call it Barbeau's basket, and it occurs on July 19, 2026, when Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, and Pluto make a formation of a basket which crosses the bottom of the skies and makes a stable and secure and wide set shape in the heaven. What's interesting about this theory is that he doesn't get too specific. He doesn't overanalyze it. We don't get into 12 parts. We don't get into decans. We don't get into triplicity, rulerships, essential dignities, none of that. It's simply the shape that the outer planets are making. And Barbeau asserted that it was the theme of the planets and the signs that they are in that give us details on how these things would occur. In this case, we have all 4 planets at 4 degrees. 4 is the number of stability, discipline, effort, stamina. We have 4 seasons, 4 elements, 4 directions across cultural and spiritual systems. 4 represents order and completion. So how do we come to this completion, this order, this balance? We have Uranus and Pluto in air signs, shifting our minds, our perspective, transforming who we are from the inside out. This breath of new life, of a changed perspective, gives way to a change in our hearts and our souls in the fire of it all, where Jupiter and Neptune are in Aries and Leo, ready to help us establish new belief system. Now, when I looked at this configuration in this chart, I noticed that Jupiter and Pluto are antitia and contra-antitia to the demon star Algol, which happens to be aligned with the midheaven of a certain tyrannical leader. And rest assured that the end of a tyrannical reign, for whatever reason, can definitely usher in a new time for the collective, the way Barbeau predicted. So there you have it, Barbeau's basket. Will AI be involved, or robots, or technology? Maybe, but this is enough. It's enough for me to see the shape of the skies when we had the pandemic and the shape of the skies for July 2026 and buy in a little bit. I'm sure there will be much more where this came from. Astrologers will be talking about this as we come closer to July 19th. But for now, at least you know the logistics and the basics of Barbeau's basket.
Thank you for doing that, Danny, darling, astrology. Yo, listen, I would love to know what tyrannical ruler she was talking about, referring to. I didn't take the time to look at the sign that Algol is going to be in and match that up to a midheaven. There's like 3 or 4 of them I have in mind. I didn't look up their midheavens to see which one she was talking about. But, you know, maybe some of you guys want to do that in your spare time. Let me move on to the next video. Certain tyrannical leader. I wonder who she's talking about.
Andre Barbeau was a 20th century French astrologer who predicted things such as the collapse of the Soviet Union, the beginning of COVID, and the 2008 financial crash. This man knew his shit. Remember, millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. The millionaires, they're the losers that don't use astrology. The billionaires are the high-class people, like the Epsteins and all the elites. So if we want to know how to combat these people, we have to learn more about things like astrology and numerology and tarot. Most of this stuff is just nonsensical. Most of this aliens crap has nothing to do with what the ancient esoteric philosophers of the old antiquity believed in and utilized to create civilizations. Besides, stuff like this is way more interesting than aliens anyway. So this is the astrology of the dates that Barbeau talked about excessively. This is in a couple of weeks now, around July 18th to the 24th, we're going to have this huge configuration and a lot of different astrological things are going to pop off. Additionally, it's about 2 weeks after this event, we will have eclipse season, which will be on the Leo and Aquarius axis. So as a great hint to you guys, if you guys know anything about astrology, pull up your natal chart and look at what houses Leo and Aquarius fall in for you. So for example, if you're a rising Cancer, Leo is going to be your second house, Aquarius is going to be your eighth house. Drop a comment down below what your houses are for Leo and Aquarius, because those are the axes that are going to be exemplified during this.
Y'all that watch this channel regularly, you are well versed in doing that. I'm very proud of you all. You all did that work for a solid year in 2025 while going through those new moon and full moon videos with me. You're very comfortable with looking at your charts and traversing them and finding out what house you have, what sign in. So this is standard operating for y'all. So I'm proud of y'all. Y'all have done the work. Very easy for you to see how the eclipses are going to affect you on that Aquarius Leo axis. All right, back to the video.
Eighth house. Drop a comment down below what your houses are for Leo and Aquarius, because those are the axes that are going to be exemplified during this period of time. Also, please ignore that it was upside down. It's going to go a whole 360-degree rotation throughout the entire day. It doesn't matter that it looks like this shape or whatever. It's not an upside down pentagram. It's going to be right side up as well. So many people in the comments were talking about that, but it's clear that you guys don't do a lot of astrology stuff if you're harping on the shape of it. However, this is going to be very powerful. We're going to have a lot of these personal planets at 4 degrees. Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. The moon will be at 4 degrees at a certain point, and Jupiter in Leo. This axis is going to be about rebellion. It's going to be about technology. It's going to be about war themes and wartime narratives, potentially even World War III. Although I'm not trying to fearmonger, guys. Barbo and many other astrologers are all on the same page. This is the beginning of a new era. So whatever you're wrapping up over the next couple of weeks, really make it count, because you might be starting a brand new chapter in your life and you want to be on the good side of this energy. So again, drop comments down below. I can comment on what I think it might entail for you, depending on what your axis is going to be. Again, it's going to be that Leo and Aquarius axis in your chart. If you don't know anything about astrology, you can come work with me, or I have tons of other resources for you to figure out exactly what this is going to entail for you. I teach a lot of this stuff, so let me show you how you can get in touch with me. Click the link in my bio. You're going to see my AI, psychology, and astrology app, or my online school. My astrology app will walk you through all of your astrology. You can ask it any questions you want. Join my
Dr.
online
Matt
school if you want to learn this stuff personally. Love you guys.
I like old Matt. Okay, Coach Matthew. All right. Never met a Matt I didn't like. All right, that's cool. That's cool. All right, here we go. Here we go. Okay, and I got one more for you all. I got one more.
If you come into the month of July with the intention to lean in and lock in to changing your life, this is the best way to use the astrology. If you're one of those people, let's talk about the astrology of July. So July's astrology has the potential for you to break cycles, break patterns, liberate yourself, break free from a stagnant situation, and fuck shit up. On July 4th, Mars is going to be the trigger for this. And then as we get into the middle of July, there's going to be a cradle aspect pattern, or as some astrologers have been calling it, the Barbo's basket, which I'll talk about in a second. Then at the end of the month, the sun will activate this very aspect pattern. And then we end the month with a Sun-Jupiter conjunction and the full moon in Aquarius. Andre Barbeau was an astrologer who accurately predicted the fall of the Soviet Union, also accurately predicted the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. He passed away in 2019 before making his last prediction, saying that this formation in the sky in the summer of 2026 was going to be a golden age for humanity. Now, I always take what a white man says with a grain of salt, because my question is, golden age for whom? Now,
Damn.
What I mean by a golden age is class consciousness, all of us coming together to fight the billionaire class. So the planets involved in this cradle aspect pattern is Jupiter in Leo opposite Pluto in Aquarius, And I think that's going to be the aspect out of this cradle pattern that we're going to experience the most intensely, both collectively and individually. And then we have Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, which are outer planets. They are generational planets that speak more to our experience within the collective, and they are all speaking together in harmony. If you remember last summer when these planets started to connect with each other in a harmonious way, this was when we had all of those Gen Z revolutions all over the world, the one in Nepal, I believe in the Philippines. And so this is sort of the energy that we're working with here. So while this aspect pattern is speaking to a collective shift, a timeline shift, if you will, I don't separate the individual versus the collective or the micro and the macro, because I believe we each have a role in the revolution, in collective liberation. And so if you focus on the ways in which you are shifting, you are breaking patterns, you are doing the shadow work, that literally is the work that you need to do in this moment. You will feel this aspect pattern more intensely if you have planets around 4 degrees, and even more so if you have air and fire placements. Air and fire are masculine elements that require us to take action. So as somebody who has predominantly air and fire sign placements in my own chart, this is my piece of advice for you. I oftentimes find that people don't take action because they are afraid to be cringy, they are afraid to be embarrassed, they are afraid to even take the first step because they're afraid of what people will think. So maybe for a lot of you, you just have to get to a point where you share your gifts and talents and you don't care how cringy you are. Like you have to get to a place where even if one person shows up, it's still worth it because it's the thing that you love to do. So in the next couple of videos, I'm going to break down each aspect within the cradle aspect pattern.
That was pure feminine energy, wisdom, and love. I love how she broke that down. Like I love that. That almost felt like your mom or your grandma telling you, "Look, just get out there and do it. Don't worry about what somebody's going to say or think about you." I've been saying that for a while on this channel too, especially those of you that have significant Virgo placements or 6th house placements in your chart too. That's one sign that tends to, you know, that's a shadow side of Virgo energy, is caring what people might think or say. So she mentioned, you know what, let me not get too far away from my notes here. Because y'all know me, I'll start going. So with all of those Barbo basket, and that was the last one, with all of that information, with what's ahead, okay, we talked about what has been, we talked about the fall. This Roman Empire is pretty much done, y'all. This new revived Roman Empire is done. And I was going to read some scripture that apply to that, but I'm going to save that for another day because I'm ready to wrap this video up. But there is some scripture that talks about the fall of the Roman Empire, how it was asleep for 1,000 years and then woke up again. Okay. What was that 1,000-year period? The Western Roman Empire fell around 476 to 480 AD. And it was the Dark Ages, okay, for that whole culture until the military defeat of the so-called Moors on the Iberian, some people say Iberian, some people say Ibrit, some people say Ibo-Aryan Peninsula. Okay, they hide stuff. Hebrew Peninsula, they hide stuff. Ibo-Aryan Peninsula, Iberian Peninsula. See how the English language plays with words? Okay. After the defeat of the so-called Moors, which took place finally in 1492, that pretty much marked the end of that 1,000-year period. From 476 to 480 to 490 AD to 1492 AD, that was that 1,000 years of peace, so to speak. Why? Because there was no Roman Empire or anything like it oppressing the world. But then it woke up again in 1492. Y'all got to know how to break these prophetic scriptures down, okay? I believe that comes in Revelation 20. There's another place in Revelation. I was going to break them down tonight, but for time's sake, I'm leaving it alone. Maybe I'll do it another day. So suffice it to say, I believe that this current astrological transit that we're in now is the crumbling and defeat of the revived Roman Empire, which if you read Daniel chapter 2, there's so many prophecies that talk about a golden era coming in after the beast and the dragon are defeated and tossed into the lake of fire. Okay. All right. So anyway, and that's not hell in the Christian sense. I'm not going to get into it tonight, what that lake of fire is. I'm not going to get into it tonight. Okay. So what is Matt's advice for all of this? We know what was, we saw what happened. We know that 250 year, look at what has happened since that Jubilee period ended, y'all. I told y'all last week that we were going to start to see some shakeups happen at the end of that 5th Jubilee since the Declaration of Independence in this land that was controlled by the seed of Jacob before Christopher Columbus came over, and then the stranger, which again, y'all look up the word stranger in your Bible concordance. For anybody that wants to come at me and challenge me, go look it up for yourself. Go look up for y'all Bible heads that want to challenge me, for y'all evangelical Mitch McConnell and Lindsay Graham supporting Christians that don't like what I got to say. Go look up the word stranger for yourself, and then ask yourself who colonized who. That's all. Well, y'all, it's time to put the fighting down and just start dealing with truth. Truth is required for healing. Truth is a requirement for healing. You know why nobody's healing physically on this soil, and why you see ad after ad after ad after ad after ad that says stick this in your stomach, inject this, take that. These are the side effects. If it doesn't kill you or harm you with these side effects, then you can use it to treat something, meaning you got to keep coming back and getting it over and over again. You know why nobody's quote unquote being fixed? Because there's no truth. If they told you the truth about what caused the problems and what resolves the problems, we wouldn't have the problems. Okay? Truth is a necessary ingredient for healing. Where there is no truth, there is no healing. Period. Okay? So here's what Matt's advice is. Number 1, check the outer planets in your natal chart. Check your Uranus, your Neptune, and your Pluto. Okay? See where they are. If your outer planets are in an air sign or fire sign, my advice to you is just to go with the flow. Just go with the flow. Why? Because these planets are in air and fire signs. So if your outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are in air or fire signs, just go with the flow. It's going to be harmonious. It's going to be a harmonious period for you. Okay. Uranus is going to be your next 7 years of your Uranus sign is going to be harmonious because of the aspects. Your next 14 of your Neptune is going to be harmonious, and your Pluto's 20 years. So if your Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto are in air fire signs, just relax and go with the flow, okay? You just go with the flow. Your only job is to not let anyone distract you from enjoying your life, especially if you've been doing the inner work on yourself. Why? Because you have earned it. So your only job, your only effort that you need to put forward as we enter into this new period is to not let anybody distract you and pull you out of your high vibrational frequency, because this is going to be a harmonious period for you. Now, if your Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are in a water or an earth sign, this could be a slightly bumpy ride for you. It could be. Why? Because those are non-harmonious energies, okay? When you got planets in a masculine sign, you got to have, it's got to be fire or air, okay? Fire and air complement each other, okay? Fire supplements fire, fire complements air, okay? Air supplements air, air complements fire. So it's going to be a harmonious period for you. But air and water, they don't complement each other. They don't supplement each other. Air and water make bubbles, okay? Air and earth produce dust and wind and what do you call it? Dust storms. You can't see. That's how you kind of got to look at that, okay? Fire and earth, that's scorched earth, okay? Earth can't get any nourishment. It needs that water, okay? Fire and water, you get steam. The water goes away, okay? Or the water puts out the fire. So those are non-harmonious connections. So, not connection, that's not the word I'm looking for, but it's going to be a non-harmonious transit. However, if your Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are in a water or earth sign, this could be a bumpy ride for you, but it only means this. It could be, but it only means that you have to go off cruise control and actually drive your car. Okay? Remember this, y'all, and this is reflected in our birth charts. Our internal energies pretty much work on autopilot or cruise control. Okay? They pretty much work on autopilot. Just observe a baby or observe a child. They are who they are. Okay? They are who they are even before they're taught how to be. Your energies, our internal energies, pretty much work on autopilot or cruise control. But as is the case with taking a long road trip with your car on cruise control, sometimes conditions change and you have to go off cruise control and take control of that gas pedal and that brake. Take control of that throttle. You might hit some rough weather, or you may hit a stretch of road that is not so good, and it could be riddled with bumps, cracks, and potholes. So those are the times where you can't be on cruise control. If you're on cruise control when you're in inclement weather, you're going to crash. If you're on cruise control and you're going over some bumpy road or road with cracks in it, you're going to have a hard time, okay? You got to drive it. You got to drive it. I'm giving y'all analogies that are applicable, okay? Another way to look at it, something that's relative. So if you think about it, you would never keep your car on cruise control while under difficult or even dangerous conditions. Nobody's going to drive in snow with the car on cruise control. You're not going to do that if you have to be out in it, okay? What do? You go off cruise control, you pay more careful attention to the road and the conditions, and you drive your car yourself, navigating through that tough stretch until you arrive back under calm weather and smooth road conditions. Such is the cosmos. Trust me, the people that have those outer planets and air and fire signs, when those outer planets switch to earth and water signs, now they're going to have to drive their car and you're going to get to go on cruise control. But keep this in mind. Okay? Keep this in mind. When our personal planets are harmonious with a current transit, that is a relax and enjoy the ride period. When our personal planets meet with a non-harmonious current planetary transit, one or more of them, we do the work necessary to navigate through that tough period so that we can relax and not have to do damage control when it's over. If you don't focus when you're going through these rougher transits, everybody's going to get them. Nobody's whole life is smooth. Nobody's whole life is hard. It is what you do during that tough season that dictates what happens when the season changes and it's a harmonious season for you. If you didn't drive your car and pay attention and focus on that road when you were going through that rough transit, when you hit that smooth transit, you ain't going to have time to enjoy it because you're going to be doing damage control. You're going to be doing damage control like, okay, while somebody else is cruising down the highway, you're going to be working on and fixing your car because you didn't do the work while you were going through that rough period. That's why you got to do the work. That's why you got to understand a little astrology and understand that this too shall pass. If you got it good, this is why. Think about Joseph for a minute. Think about Joseph and the interpretation of the king's dream. The 7 fat cows and the 7 skinny cows. That's astrology right there. That's almost like a Uranus transit. Uranus stays in the sign for 7 years. 7 fat cows and 7 skinny cows. Hey, listen, you're going to have 7 years of abundance and you're going to have 7 years of famine. What you do during those 7 years of abundance is going to dictate how difficult those 7 years of famine are going to be. The king understood this and he made sure that he put aside so that they can make it through that rough period. And when they came out of that rough period, nobody starved the whole time they were in that rough period. When they came out of it, they're like, hey, everybody's healthy. We can get back to enjoying this abundance again. Life moves in waves. Okay? All right. So that is how you should navigate this journey of life if you want it to be enjoyable. Keeping in mind that it is one day going to come to an end. What is that? Your life, this journey. And you will have to account for whether or not you accomplished your mission goals and for how you took care of the vehicle that was loaned to you. Okay? The driver of this vehicle, the driver of that vehicle that you look at in the mirror when you're putting your clothes on, or fellas when you're cutting your hair and trimming your beard and mustache, or ladies when you're putting your makeup on, your lip gloss, your lipstick, whatever, that is a borrowed vehicle. That vehicle was loaned to you, but the driver of that vehicle is eternal. Okay? So remember, I'm gonna say this one more time, and I'm gonna ask if you ain't got any questions. Anybody got questions? We're gonna wrap up. You should navigate your life in terms of that, the understanding of Joseph's dream interpretation, or the understanding of what it means to drive a car on cruise control versus when you can no longer drive it on cruise control if you're being smart. Okay, that's how you should navigate this journey of life if you want it to be enjoyable. Keeping in mind again that it is one day going to come to an end. and you will have to account for whether or not you accomplished your mission goals. Hey, your journey's got to come to an end now. This car has run out of gas. Did you get to your destination? Or were you lollygagging? Were you abusing the vehicle? Were you punching it to the floor? They told you, hey, you got enough gas to get to your next destination, your next waypoint, if you drive it like this. If you don't drive it in accordance with the instruction and you don't make it to that destination, we got to give you an F. You didn't get there. You didn't get there. We're going to put you in another vehicle. You got to start over. You got to start. We're going to get somebody to take you back to the beginning point, and you're going to start over again. Just like in our video games, where when you fail to complete a stage in a video game, you got to go back to the last stage you completed and start over. Life's the same way, y'all. Be serious about what you're doing, but don't take it too serious. Understand that, hey, you know what? If I do this the right way, I can have a good time here. Yeah, I'm going to have some hard times. It's what I do during the hard times that dictate how good the good times are. Okay? All right? Keep in mind, you're going to have to account for whether or not you accomplished your mission goals and for how you took care of the vehicle that was loaned to you. Take care of your body, y'all. Take care of your body. This is why it's written in the New Testament, we should present our bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to the Most High, which is our reasonable service. He wasn't that. The religious establishment, again, they took a spiritual concept and made it about religion. And it's not about religion. They're saying, hey, look, this was given to you. It is reasonable service for you to take care of it and say, hey, look, I'm polishing this body that you gave me. I'm not letting it go to waste. You got people out there. I saw a guy in the gym today, 74 years old. Now his face kind of showed the wear and tear a little bit, but looking at him getting his workout in, that dude, he looked better than some people in their 50s and 60s. Okay? Some people in their 40s. Okay? What's that sister's name? Ernestine something, internet sensation. She like 77, 78. Body looked better than half the 25 and 30-year-olds out there. That's what it meant to present your body a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to the Most High, which is your reasonable service. Hey, I'm loaning you this body, okay? By some accounts, we get to choose our features within a certain framework, okay? In the ether before we come here. Okay, I gave you the body you asked for. You didn't even take care of it. Take care of it, y'all. That's all I got. Anybody got any questions or comments? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. What's up, highly blessed favorite warrior? Thank you for being here. All right, y'all. So that's all I got. I don't see any new comments, and I've been keeping up with y'all pretty good. So now's a good time for me to get off of here. Thank y'all for watching. Listen, don't forget to check out my award-winning work at www.talfordarts.com. You can go there. You can browse my collection of books. I currently have a Mercury retrograde sale going on, 15% off any book you buy from my website. You get it autographed. You can also get them at Amazon, but they're not going to, that sale comes through me. Okay. You can get any of my books at Amazon. You can also get them on Apple Books and Amazon Kindle for those that prefer ebooks. Okay. Check out my website, read a synopsis, go over to Amazon, read some reviews. All right. Listen, tell somebody you love them and mean it. How do you mean it? You got to show it. Love is a verb. It's a noun as well. But when we focus on the verb, the noun takes care of itself. And listen, authenticity, y'all, authenticity and alignment. Alignment, for you to be in alignment, for you to be your most authentic self, you got to look at your natal chart. Your natal chart is going to tell you who you are. And then you have to be intentional about being in alignment with that energy. Don't worry about the people around you. Don't worry about the people around you. If they're not at your frequency anymore, it doesn't mean that you don't love them. They're just not on your frequency. Okay. Maybe one day you guys will be in the same frequency. Maybe not. It doesn't matter. You can still show, you can still love people without, I'm not going to go down that path because I'm about to get dogmatic. I'm not going to do that tonight. Listen, stay in alignment with who you are. Don't worry about what somebody thinks about what it is that you came here to do. Trust me, you always find your tribe. We move through seasons in our lives. Okay. You can't, if you're in grade school and you are doing the work and yeah, we're friends with these guys over here, whatever, or ladies friends with these girls over here, whatever, y'all are all doing the work, but you studying, you doing your work, you making passing grades, they doing failing grades, you're going to get promoted. They're going to have to repeat that grade. You're not going back where they are. You're not having that conversation anymore. That conversation is old. You moved on to other things. Don't mean you don't love that person. They didn't do the work you did. Okay. One day they'll catch up. All right. That's how you have to look at life. That's how you have to look at it. So be authentic, be true to yourself. If you're not being true to yourself, it's going to be kind of difficult to complete your mission goals for this life. All right. You got to be authentic, got to be in alignment. You want to be in alignment, run your natal chart and one of those free natal chart calculators at either Cafe Astrology or AstroSeek. Okay, Astro-Seek. There's some other ones out there, but those are two of the ones that I like. Yeah, y'all. Yeah, so hit that like button for me on your way out. And if you're new to the channel and you like being entertained, educated, uplifted, and inspired, hit that subscribe button. Make sure your notification bell set to all so you'll be notified when I upload new content. And for those of y'all that like a little bit more spiritual topics and stuff like that, tarot, oracle, I do have another channel, MDT 888 Spirit Guide. Y'all can go, John 4 and 24 is in the title. So I'll type it here. Y'all can go over there and check it out. I haven't posted any content there for a minute. But I'm going to get back on that. I've just had a lot of stuff going on. Okay. Home improvement projects, that sort of thing. So, and I'm working on my green thumb too. So 888 Spirit Guide, John 4:24. That's for those of you that like tarot readings or oracle card readings, that sort of thing. I do that too. So, all right, y'all, that's all I got tonight. Thank y'all for being here again. And y'all be sure you hit that like button on the way out. And I love you guys. Thank y'all for being here. Enjoy the video if you're watching it on replay. Peace.